Welcome to another deep dive. This time, we're taking you into the world of Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't wait to dig in. Our roadmap for this one is their Wikipedia page.
Sounds good.
And we're going to cover a lot of ground.
Okay.
So buckle up, because we're going to be exploring everything from their humble beginnings to the cutting-edge technology that's making them such a dominant force in multiple industries these days.
It really is fascinating to see how Tesla has gone from a small startup, operating out of a former Chevrolet dealership to like a global giant.
Right.
Just completely shaking up both the automotive and energy industry.
It's like a real-life underdog story.
It is.
But let's start at the very beginning.
Okay.
Tesla Motors, as it was originally known, was founded in 2003.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about how it all began?
Well, it was founded by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning.
Okay.
And they actually named it after the legendary inventor Nikola Tesla.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a cool little detail. What's really interesting is that their vision from the very start was to be more than just a car manufacturer.
Oh, okay.
They wanted to be a tech company that happened to build cars.
So they were focusing on the brains of the operation.
Exactly.
The battery, the software, the motor,
Yeah.
just as much as the physical car itself.
That's right.
That's pretty forward-thinking for 2003.
Absolutely, and that approach is really what set them apart.
Yeah.
And continues to define their identity even today.
And then, of course, we have the entrance of Elon Musk in 2004.
Yes.
First as a major investor, and then he stepped into the CEO role in 2008. But those early years weren't all smooth sailing, were they?
Not at all.
What were some of the biggest challenges they faced in those early days?
Their first car, the Roadster, was plagued with production issues.
Really?
It's important to remember that producing an innovative car,
Right.
especially an electric one back then,
2003.
was a monumental task.
The technology was still in its infancy.
Yeah.
So how did they overcome those early struggles and actually get the Roadster out the door?
Well, by 2009, they had secured funding,
Okay.
including a crucial loan from the U.S. Department of Energy,
Interesting.
which they actually repaid ahead of schedule.
Oh, wow.
It was almost a foreshadowing of their ambition and drive to defy expectations.
Wow. So they survived those initial growing pains.
They did.
But what really launched them into the public consciousness?
Yeah.
When did Tesla go from being this niche player to a household name?
I think the turning point was undoubtedly the release of the Model S sedan in 2012.
Ah, the Model S.
Yeah.
That was the car that really put them on the map.
Exactly. It marked a significant shift for Tesla,
Okay.
showcasing their ability to create a high-performance, desirable electric car
Yeah.
that was more affordable than the Roadster,
Right.
still considered a luxury car,
Yeah.
but it was a game changer
It was.
and paved the way for the Model X SUV in 2015. And eventually, their first true mass market car, the Model 3.
And speaking of the Model 3,
Yes.
that one had its own set of production challenges, didn't it?
It did.
What happened there?
Their ambitious goal of producing a more affordable electric car
Right.
for the masses led to some well-documented production bottlenecks.
Yeah, I remember that.
But ultimately, they managed to overcome those hurdles,
Okay.
and the Model 3 became one of the best-selling electric cars worldwide.
It's interesting how Tesla seems to attract these grand challenges and somehow manages to navigate through them.
Yeah.
But they also do things their own way, don't they? Their business model is quite unique.
It is.
How so?
Well, they disrupted the traditional automotive industry
Oh.
by selling directly to consumers,
Interesting.
bypassing the typical dealership model.
I imagine that ruffled a few feathers in the industry.
It certainly did.
Yeah.
This approach was, and in some places still is, controversial.
Right.
They faced numerous legal challenges in states where franchise laws protect dealerships. But they persisted and ultimately made their mark.
And then there's this constant focus on hardware updates.
Yes.
Which is another unusual move in the car world.
It is.
It's almost like they treat their cars like smartphones, constantly evolving and improving.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Their over-the-air software updates allow them to continually refine their vehicle's performance,
Okay.
add new features, and even address safety concerns.
Wow.
It's a level of flexibility and adaptability
Right.
that's rarely seen in the traditional automotive world.
And then there's that bold acquisition of Solar City,
Yes.
which merged with Tesla's existing battery technology to form Tesla Energy.
Right.
Was that a gamble that paid off?
Well, the Solar City acquisition was definitely seen as a risky move at the time.
Okay.
Some people question the logic behind merging a car company with a solar panel installer, but it underscored Tesla's commitment. to building a sustainable energy ecosystem,
Got it.
not just electric cars.
So they're thinking big picture.
Yeah.
And speaking of big picture, their global expansion is remarkable.
It is.
I mean, they've got gigafactories springing up all over the world. Nevada, New York, Shanghai, Berlin, Brandenburg, Texas.
It's impressive.
And it seems like they're just getting started.
These gigafactories are key to their production capacity and their ambition to scale up operations.
So these are massive factories pumping out all these different Tesla models. But they haven't stopped there.
Well,
They've recently expanded into India, securing a deal to source semiconductor chips from Tata Electronics. That's a major step in tapping into that huge Indian automotive market.
It is.
Wow, talk about global domination.
I know.
But hold on, you mentioned earlier a strategic shift away from something called next-generation gigacasting.
Oh, right.
What's that all about?
So initially, Tesla planned to use this innovative manufacturing technique to produce car underbodies as single massive pieces.
Wow, as one piece?
As one piece.
Okay.
Which was supposed to revolutionize their production and significantly reduce costs.
So what happened?
It seems they've decided to stick with their current method of casting in 3 pieces.
So a pretty significant about face.
It is.
What prompted that?
It's likely a combination of factors.
Like what?
Well, they seem to be prioritizing resources for their self-driving vehicle development, which is a major focus for them. And it's also possible they encountered some unforeseen challenges with the gigacasting technology itself.
It happens.
It does.
That's a good reminder that even a company as innovative as Tesla has to be adaptable and adjust their course when needed.
Absolutely.
But let's talk more about the tech that makes Tesla, they're renowned for their battery technology. And it's no secret they've gone through a few different battery types over the years.
That's right.
Can you walk us through that evolution?
Absolutely. Their journey in battery development is fascinating.
Okay, let's hear it.
In their early days, they actually used off-the-shelf 18650 cells.
Okay.
The kind you'd typically find in laptops and other consumer electronics.
Wait, so those early Tesla Roadsters were essentially running on thousands of tiny laptop batteries.
It's true.
That's wild.
At the time, it was a practical solution due to the limited availability of EV-specific batteries.
Makes sense.
But it also presented some unique engineering challenges.
Like what?
Bundling and managing so many small cells. Ensuring they were properly cooled. Incorporating fire prevention systems.
So they were really pushing the boundaries from the start.
They were.
And then they moved on to the 2170 cells, right?
Exactly.
What was the advantage there?
The 2170 cells, a slightly larger format,
Okay.
offered higher capacity and efficiency. Got it. These are still used in many of their vehicles today.
Okay.
Sourced from partners like Panasonic and LG Energy Solution.
All right, so bigger and better.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the 4680 cells?
Yeah.
Those seem to be getting a lot of attention these days.
The 4680 cells are indeed a game changer.
How so?
They are a whopping 5 times larger than the 2170s.
Wow, 5 times.
Which means they pack significantly more energy.
Okay.
And they're designed for faster charging.
That makes a big difference for a lot of people, I bet.
It does.
These are particularly exciting because Tesla is developing them in-house.
That's right.
And they're already being integrated into some Model Y and Cybertruck models.
Yeah.
So from 18650 to 2170 to 4680,
Mm-hmm.
it's a battery size evolution.
It is.
But wait, I've read that they also use something called prismatic cells.
You're absolutely right.
What are those?
They've also incorporated prismatic cells into their battery strategy.
Okay.
Specifically lithium iron phosphate,
Yeah.
LFP batteries.
LFP, what's the advantage of those?
Yeah. Well, these rectangular cells, while less energy dense than the others, are cheaper to produce.
Why is that?
Because they don't use nickel or cobalt.
Oh, I see.
Which are expensive and ethically sourced materials.
Interesting.
Tesla mainly uses LFP batteries.
Okay.
Sourced from CATL in China.
Okay.
In their entry-level Model 3 and Y vehicles.
So they've got a diverse set of tools in their battery arsenal. Choosing the right cell for the right vehicle and purpose.
Exactly.
That's pretty smart.
It is.
And what about the motors themselves?
Oh, yeah.
Any cool innovations going on there?
They actually employ 2 main types of electric motors.
Okay.
The first is a classic induction motor.
Okay.
A technology that's been around for over a century.
Wow.
Relying on electromagnetic induction to generate torque.
So a bit of old school tech, but tried and true.
Exactly.
What's the other type?
The second and more advanced design
Okay.
is called an IPM Syn RM motor.
Whoa, that's a mouthful.
I know it's a long one.
Can we just call it an IPM SynRM motor for short?
Of course.
So what's so special about these IPM SynRM motors?
Well, they cleverly combine the high starting torque
Okay.
of permanent magnet motors with the efficiency and high-speed performance of reluctance motors.
So they get the best of both worlds.
They do.
That's amazing.
They're more complex to build,
Okay.
but they offer an excellent balance of power and efficiency.
I see.
You'll find them in newer versions of the Model 3, Y, S, and X.
Oh, wow.
They're also expected to power the Tesla semi-truck.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they're not just pushing boundaries with battery tech.
Right.
They're also innovating on the motors themselves.
It's a holistic approach.
It's all connected.
It is.
Speaking of pushing boundaries, they're also making waves with their autonomous driving technology.
Yeah.
Tesla's autopilot and full self-driving systems have generated a lot of buzz, but also some controversy.
For sure.
What's your take on that?
Well, their ambition in the realm of self-driving technology
Yeah.
is certainly undeniable. Elon Musk has repeatedly predicted
Okay.
achieving level 5 autonomy.
So that means fully driverless cars.
Exactly. Hands-free, eyes-closed future of driving.
But haven't those timelines been a bit, shall we say, optimistic?
To put it mildly, there have been some, let's call them missed deadlines.
And some concerns about safety, especially with the beta testing of full self-driving on public roads.
Those concerns are valid.
Okay.
While Tesla maintains that autopilot makes their cars safer
Right.
than the average vehicle,
Okay.
there have been accidents and subsequent investigations by regulators.
Right.
And the name full self-driving itself
Yeah.
has been criticized for being misleading,
I can see why.
as the system is far from capable of true autonomous driving.
It's still classified as a driver assistance system.
Yes.
Which means the driver must remain alert.
Correct.
And be ready to take control at any moment. But it's clear they're not afraid to push the envelope.
They're not.
For better or worse.
It's true.
And let's not forget, Tesla's ventures extend beyond cars.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They're involved in so many different things these days.
Their scope is impressive.
Like what?
Well, they're heavily involved in solar energy through Tesla Energy.
Okay.
They've even dipped their toes into the insurance market
Really?
with Tesla Insurance.
Wow.
And believe it or not,
What?
they're exploring robotics.
Robotics.
Yeah.
Okay, now you've got my attention.
All right.
Tell me more about that.
Well, in preparing for the mass production of the Model 3,
Okay.
Tesla invested significantly in robotics and automation for their factories.
Okay.
They acquired several robotics companies
Wow.
with the aim of creating a highly automated assembly process.
So they were attempting to build the car factory of the future.
Exactly.
But that didn't quite go as planned, did it?
It's interesting because Elon Musk later admitted
Okay.
that over-reliance on robotics actually slowed down production
Oh.
in the early stages.
Really?
Seems even the most advanced technology
Yeah.
needs to be balanced with human expertise.
A valuable lesson learned.
Yeah.
But what about their actual robotics projects outside of the factory setting?
Right.
Are they building anything beyond factory robots?
They are indeed.
Right.
They've been developing a humanoid robot called Optimus.
Hold on, a Tesla robot?
Yeah.
That sounds like something out of science fiction.
I know, right?
Have they actually shown off any prototypes?
They have.
Really?
They unveiled a prototype of Optimus back in 2022.
Okay.
It was a bit rough around the edges,
I can imagine.
but it did walk and wave to the crowd.
Wow.
Yeah.
So from electric cars to solar panels to humanoid robots, Tesla's vision seems boundless.
They're definitely not lacking in ambition.
But with all this rapid growth and innovation, it's important to acknowledge that they've also faced their share of controversies and criticisms.
That's right.
Right. Tesla has been in the spotlight for a range of issues, from lawsuits and government scrutiny to allegations of worker rights violations and product safety concerns.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is.
But I think it's an important part of understanding the full picture of Tesla.
Okay.
So buckle up.
All right.
Because it looks like we're about to enter some choppy waters.
Sounds like it's time to hold on tight.
Yeah.
All right, so let's dive into some of these controversies.
Okay.
What are some of the major legal challenges Tesla has faced?
One of the most high-profile cases involved the acquisition of Solar City.
Oh, yeah, that was a big one.
Shareholders filed a lawsuit
Okay.
claiming that Elon Musk And the Tesla board overpaid
Mm-hmm.
for the struggling solar company.
Right. It was in trouble at the time.
And the potential conflicts of interest were ignored.
So they were essentially accused of putting personal gain
Right.
ahead of the interests of Tesla shareholders.
That was the allegation.
And what was the outcome of that lawsuit?
The Delaware Court of Chancery ruled in favor of Musk in 2022.
Okay.
And that decision was later upheld by the Delaware Supreme Court.
So they cleared that hurdle.
They did.
But what about the allegations of worker rights violations?
Right.
Those sound pretty serious.
There have been multiple accusations of poor working conditions
Okay.
at Tesla factories,
Like what kind of conditions are we talking about?
ranging from unsafe work environments
Mm-hmm.
to incidents of sexual harassment and discrimination.
Wow.
These claims, if substantiated,
Right.
could have a real impact on their reputation and their
Yeah.
ability to attract talent.
It's hard to imagine building a successful company
Right.
without a strong and satisfied workforce.
Exactly.
Has Tesla responded to these claims?
They've denied some of the claims
Okay.
and have publicly stated their commitment to worker safety and well-being.
Okay.
However, they've also faced criticism for their handling of worker complaints and allegations of retaliating against whistleblowers.
That doesn't sound good.
No.
Transparency and accountability are crucial, especially for a company with such a large and growing workforce.
Yeah.
What about product safety?
Hmm.
We talked about recalls earlier,
Right.
but are there broader concerns about the safety of Tesla vehicles?
There have been incidents of Tesla vehicles catching fire,
Oh, wow.
which naturally raise concerns about battery safety.
Yeah, that's understandable.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration
And HGSA.
has investigated some of these incidents,
Okay.
and Tesla has implemented safety improvements
Mm-hmm.
and issued recalls to address certain issues.
It seems like there's a tension there.
Yeah.
This push and pull
Right?
between their drive for innovation
Mm-hmm.
and the need to ensure safety and responsible practices.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Tesla's achievements are remarkable,
They are,
but they operate in a highly competitive and scrutinized industry.
for sure.
Their rapid growth has at times come at a cost.
Right.
They've faced criticism for not always meeting the standards
Yeah.
expected of a major company.
I guess that comes with the territory sometimes.
It does.
And of course, we can't talk about Tesla controversies
Yeah.
without mentioning Elon Musk himself.
Right.
His outspoken personality
Hmm.
and sometimes provocative statements have generated both admiration and criticism.
For sure.
How would you characterize his role in all of this?
I think Musk's role in Tesla's story
Mm-hmm.
is inseparable from the company itself.
Interesting.
He's undeniably a visionary leader
Yeah.
who has propelled their success,
Mm.
but his unconventional behavior
Okay.
and tendency to overpromise and underdeliver have also presented challenges for the company.
It's a bit of a double-edged sword, isn't it?
It is.
The same boldness that drives their innovation can sometimes lead to missteps and
Yeah.
public relations headaches.
For sure?
But taking all of this into account,
Okay.
the triumphs, the controversies, the sheer ambition,
Yeah.
how is Tesla actually performing financially? They're considered one of the most valuable companies in the world.
That's true.
But is that sustainable?
Their financial performance has been remarkable,
Okay.
but it's also been quite volatile.
How so?
Their market capitalization has skyrocketed,
Right.
making them one of the world's most valuable automakers.
Yeah. I mean, they're worth a ton.
But their profitability has fluctuated,
Okay.
and they've relied on regulatory credits in the past.
Wait, regulatory credits?
Yeah.
What are those?
Essentially, they've sold their excess zero-emission vehicle credits
Okay.
to other automakers who need to meet regulatory requirements.
So they've been profitable,
Yeah.
but not always from selling cars alone.
Exactly.
Interesting.
That reliance on regulatory credits
Mhm.
has raised questions about the long-term sustainability
Right.
of their business model.
Okay, so are they still relying on those credits?
Well, in recent quarters, they've demonstrated stronger profitability
Okay.
from their core operations, suggesting that they're becoming less dependent on those credits.
So they're moving in the right direction.
They are?
What about vehicle sales?
Mm-hmm.
How are they doing in the increasingly competitive electric vehicle market?
Tesla has been a dominant force in the EV market,
Okay.
consistently ranking among the top sellers globally.
So they're still selling a lot of cars.
Yeah.
But they're facing stiff competition from other automakers who are now entering the EV market, right?
Right. Traditional giants like Volkswagen,
Mm-hmm.
General Motors,
Mm-hmm.
and Ford are investing heavily in electric vehicles.
Yeah, they're all trying to catch up.
And newer players like Rivian and Lucid are also emerging as contenders.
It's getting crowded out there.
It is.
Are they feeling the heat?
Absolutely.
So how are they responding to that increased competition?
The competition is intensifying,
Right.
which will likely push Tesla
Okay.
to continue innovating and refining their offerings.
Makes sense. They can't just rest on their laurels.
No.
And what about those Tesla killers we keep hearing about?
Right.
Are any of them living up to the hype?
Tesla killer gets thrown around a lot.
It does.
But so far,
yeah.
no single competitor has truly replicated Tesla's combination
Okay.
of technology brand appeal and charging infrastructure.
That's a big one.
It is.
Having that supercharger network gives them a real advantage.
It does.
But are they still ahead of the pack?
That said, the gap is narrowing,
Okay.
and Tesla can't afford to become complacent.
So they need to keep pushing if they want to stay ahead.
Exactly. It's like they're running a marathon,
Yeah.
and they've set a blistering pace, but the other runners are gaining ground.
So they can't slow down.
No.
But let's shift gears for a moment
Okay.
and talk about the people behind the company.
Right.
Who are the key figures driving Tesla's strategy and direction?
Well, it all starts with Elon Musk, of course.
Right, he's the CEO.
As CEO, he's the face of Tesla,
Yeah.
the driving force behind their vision, and a major influence on their culture and decision-making.
But who else is part of the leadership team?
Robin Denholm has served as the chair of the board of directors
Okay.
since 2018.
What's her background?
She brings a wealth of experience
Okay.
in finance and corporate governance.
So she's got the business side covered.
Yeah, providing a more traditional counterbalance
Interesting.
to Musk's sometimes impulsive style.
Sounds like a good balance of perspectives.
It does.
But I recall reading something about criticisms of the board's composition.
Oh, right.
What's the story there?
You're right. Tesla has faced criticism
Okay.
that its board lacks independence,
How so?
with several members having close ties to Elon Musk,
Like who?
including his brother Kimball Musk.
Oh, wow. So there are concerns about potential conflicts of interest
Yeah,
and a lack of objective oversight.
precisely.
Have those concerns been addressed?
Well, investors have called for a more diverse and independent board
Mm-hmm.
with greater expertise in the automotive industry.
So they want people who really know the car business.
Yeah, they argue that a stronger, more independent board
Okay.
would provide better governance and accountability.
And has Tesla responded to these concerns?
They've made some changes to the board's composition
Okay.
in recent years,
All right.
adding members with less direct connections to Musk.
Okay, so they're making some progress.
But some critics still argue that more needs to be done
I see.
to ensure the board's independence and effectiveness.
So it seems like Tesla's leadership and governance
Yeah,
remain areas of ongoing debate and scrutiny.
for sure.
They're clearly a company that attracts attention,
Definitely.
both positive and negative.
That's true.
We've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Their humble beginnings, their remarkable growth,
Yeah.
their technological innovations,
Right.
and the controversies that have followed them along the way.
It's a fascinating story
It is.
with lots of twists and turns.
What are some of the key takeaways that stand out to you from this deep dive?
I think what's most striking is the sheer scale of their ambition.
Yeah, they're not just playing it safe.
They're not.
Dig.
They are. They're not just building cars.
Right.
They're aiming to revolutionize entire industries.
It's all vision.
It is transportation, energy, even robotics.
It's hard to wrap your head around everything they're involved in.
I know, and they're doing it with a blend of technological innovation,
Yeah.
bold business decisions, and a healthy dose of showmanship.
They definitely know how to make a splash.
They do.
But they've also shown a willingness to challenge the status quo.
Absolutely.
Whether it's by selling cars directly to consumers
Right.
or by developing their own cutting-edge battery technology.
Yeah, it's a high-risk, high-reward approach
It is.
that has so far paid off in a big way,
It has.
but not without bumps along the way.
And those bumps are important to consider.
They are.
The controversies surrounding labor practices,
Yeah.
product safety, and Elon Musk's own conduct can't be ignored.
No, they can't.
These are serious issues
They are.
that raise questions about corporate responsibility and ethical leadership.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that it's not enough to be innovative and disruptive.
Okay.
You also have to be accountable for your actions
Yeah.
and their impact on workers, customers, and society as a whole.
So where does that leave us?
Well, I think that's what makes the future of Tesla so compelling.
Okay.
Can they sustain their rapid growth and innovation
Right.
while addressing these ethical and societal concerns?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
Can they navigate the increasingly competitive landscape while staying true to their mission of accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy?
Those are the million-dollar questions.
Literally.
Given Tesla's market cap, it's a company that's constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible, but they're also a company facing growing pains and scrutiny.
It'll be fascinating to see how they evolve in the years to come.
It will.
And that brings us to a final thought-provoking question for you. All right, lay it on us. What's a question we should be pondering as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Tesla?
With their grand vision, their relentless growth, and the constant swirl of controversy around them, what does the future hold for this company that's shaking up both the automotive and energy industries?
Yeah, it's the question on everyone's mind, isn't it?
I think so.
Will they become the undisputed king of electric vehicles and autonomous driving?
Right.
Or will they stumble as the competition heats up and the scrutiny intensifies?
Will they successfully weave all their various ventures?
Yeah, cars, batteries, even robots.
Into a cohesive and sustainable ecosystem?
Right.
Or will they spread themselves too thin and lose their focus?
And maybe the most crucial question of all.
Yeah.
Will they rise to the challenge and address those ethical and social concerns surrounding their practices?
Right.
Can they become a truly responsible corporate citizen, setting a new standard for the industry?
Only time will tell, but one thing is certain.
What's that?
Tesla's journey is far from over.
It's a company that will continue to captivate us,
Absolutely.
challenge our assumptions, and maybe even change the world as we know it.
I think so.
It's been a wild ride so far.
It has.
And it sounds like we're just getting started.
I agree.
What an incredible deep dive this has been.
It has been fascinating.
Thanks for joining us and for sharing this fascinating source material.
Of course.
We've only scratched the surface here.
Yeah, just a glimpse.
But hopefully this has given you a better understanding of the complexities and contradictions of Tesla.
A company of contrasts, for sure.
Absolutely.
We encourage you to continue exploring the world of Tesla.
Yeah.
To dig deeper into their technology, their business practices, and the impact they're having on the world around us.
It's a story that's still being written.
That's right.
And it's one that deserves our attention.
It does.
So keep those eyes on the road. Yeah.
Because Tesla is still accelerating.
Yeah.
And who knows where they'll take us next.
The future is electric.
Until next time, stay curious.